This episode comes to you by Hacking the Matrix.net. Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on something that gets talked about a lot, the law of attraction.
Definitely a big topic.
Yeah, and there's tons of hope around it, but maybe, some confusion, too. We're basing this discussion on a specific source. It's called the Secret Law of Attraction, what they don't tell you.
Right. From Hacking the Matrix.
Exactly. Now, you've probably heard of the law of attraction, but maybe from The Secret, that movie and book that really brought it mainstream.
Oh, for sure. It was huge.
But our goal here with this deep dive is to go a bit deeper than just the surface level stuff. This source claims there's an underlying mechanism, like the real secret to manifesting desires that often gets missed.
Yeah, it suggests the popular understanding might be a bit incomplete.
So we're going to unpack its main ideas, look at maybe why some people feel like it hasn't quite worked for them, and explore the path forward that this source suggests. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it. It's true. Almost everyone has heard of the law of attraction now. It gave millions this idea that you can shape your reality with your thoughts.
A really empowering idea.
Totally. But this source points out pretty much immediately that, well, despite everyone knowing about it, a lot of people don't really grasp how it truly functions. They're trying to apply it, but maybe based on a flawed or partial understanding.
And that seems to be where the frustration comes in for a lot of people, doesn't it?
I think so.
Like, this source says the common mistake is thinking it's just about thinking positive thoughts all day long.
Right, or just wishing really, really hard.
Yeah, or maybe doing affirmations, saying the words, but inside you're still feeling stressed or doubtful or wrestling with these old limiting beliefs.
Exactly. The source really hammers this point. If you're just putting on a brave face, saying the right things, but your dominant feeling, your internal state is actually fear or lack or anxiety, well, you're kind of missing the engine of the whole thing.
So that surface level approach, it's not enough?
According to this source, no. That's precisely why it might seem like the law of attraction isn't delivering for some people. It argues there's a deeper truth, something more fundamental going on. And once you get that, it supposedly changes everything.
Okay, let's get straight to that then. How does this source actually define the law of attraction? It sounds like they have a specific take.
They do. It starts simple, actually. The core definition they give is what you believe, feel, and expect you attract.
Believe, feel, and expect.
Okay, that sounds straightforward.
It does, right. But then, bam, it hits you with what it calls the real secret, the piece that often gets glossed over.
Which is?
It says, very plainly, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are.
Wow. Okay, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Yeah.
That definitely shifts things. It moves the focus completely away from the thing you want and puts it squarely on you, your state of being. Precisely. And the source uses some really clear examples to drive this home. Like, think about someone who desperately wants more money. They might visualize checks coming in, say, money affirmations.
Maybe they're working hard, taking action.
Right. But if deep down their core belief, their dominant feeling is, I'm not worthy of wealth, or maybe they're just constantly feeling that knot of stress about bills, what they are, energetically speaking, is that state of unworthiness and lack.
Ah, okay. So the universe, or whatever you want to call it, isn't hearing, I want money. It's picking up on the vibration of, I feel unworthy and stressed about money.
That's the argument, exactly. The law of attraction responds to that dominant beingness, that energy signature. So the result, more experiences that reflect scarcity, that match the feeling of lack.
And it gives other examples too, right? Like with relationships.
Yeah. Another one is someone wanting love. They might be actively dating, imagining this perfect partner. But if their underlying energy is dominated by, say, a deep fear of being abandoned or this core belief that relationships are always painful,
then their energy is broadcasting fear and resistance.
Yeah.
Even while they're saying they want love.
Exactly. And so they might attract partners who are unavailable or unconsciously sabotage good connections because that matches the underlying fear frequency.
Or like wanting freedom but always feeling trapped by their job or responsibilities.
Right. That belief, I am stuck, becomes their energetic reality, their dominant state. And so situations arise that just reinforce that feeling of being stuck, no matter how much they say they want freedom. The key takeaway here from this source is that it's not about your words alone, it's about your energy.
Your dominant energy.
Yes, the mix of your main beliefs, your habitual feelings, your deep expectations, that's the magnetic signal you're sending out.
Okay, so if the big principle is you attract what you are and it's all about this energy signature, How do you actually use that? How do you deliberately manifest something if the focus has to be on being? This source mentioned a secret ingredient, didn't it? Something missed in popular takes.
It did, and that ingredient, according to this source, is alignment.
Alignment. Okay. What does that mean in this context? What are we aligning with?
Well, the source makes a really important distinction first. It says manifestation isn't about force. You can't just willpower your way into getting something, especially if your internal state, your frequency is totally out of whack with what you desire.
Frequency.
Yeah.
Okay, like you need to tune into the right station.
That's a great analogy, actually. Yes. The source says you need to tune your inner state, your whole being, to the frequency of the thing you desire as if it's already here. And the core instruction for doing that tuning is you have to become the version of yourself who already has it.
Become the version. So embody that future self now.
Yes, right now. It's about shifting your identity in the present.
So if I wanted, say, more confidence in my work, it's not just wishing for confidence. It's asking, who is the version of me that already is confident? And then starting to think like her, feel like her, act like her.
Yeah. Exactly that. That's the core of the identity shift this source talks about. And it breaks down alignment into 4 key areas that need to match this desired future self: your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your fundamental beliefs. All 4 need to resonate with the state of already having what you desire.
It sounds like it has to be pretty consistent then, not just like a 5-minute visualization before you go to sleep.
Oh, absolutely. The source is really clear on this. Visualizing once or saying a few affirmations is fine, but it's not enough if the rest of your day is spent in the old vibration. You have to actively, consistently embody the vibration of your desire daily.
Because the law of attraction is responding to your dominant energy, right?
Yeah.
So a few minutes of feeling good won't cancel out hours of worry or doubt or feeling stuck.
Precisely. The universe, the quantum field, whatever term you use, it reads your dominant frequency. Which actually leads perfectly into another really crucial point this source makes.
Which is?
Why trying too hard can actually block you.
Wait, really? Trying too hard blocks it. That feels so backwards. We're always told to hustle, put in massive effort.
I know, it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But think about it from this energy perspective. When someone is trying really hard to manifest something, what's often the feeling underneath that effort?
Desperation.
Yeah.
Anxiety that is not here yet.
Exactly. It often comes from a state of lack. You're pushing so hard because you feel the absence of the thing, and you're worried you won't get it.
So the energy you're broadcasting isn't, I am easily attracting this. It's more like, I don't have this, and I'm stressed, and I need to force it to happen.
Yes. That's the core argument. Obsessing, constantly checking for results, feeling anxious about when it will show up, how it will show up, pushing against things from a place of stress. All of that, according to this source, puts you firmly in the energy of not having, of lack.
And the law of attraction just mirrors that back. The lack.
That's the idea. The source uses these 2 contrasting phrases that really nail it. Desperation equals rejection. Surrender equals reception.
Desperation equals rejection. Okay, that makes sense energetically. But surrender, that doesn't mean just giving up on your desire, does it?
Not at all. No. In this context, surrender means letting go of the struggle, letting go of the need to control the when and the how.
All right, okay.
Once you've done the inner work, you've got clarity, you've aligned your energy, you're working on being that version of you. Your job then is to trust. Trust that the universe or higher intelligence or whatever will handle the logistics. Trying to micromanage the how usually comes from that same place of doubt and lack.
So focus on being the vibrational match and then kind of release the desperate need for it to show up in a specific way at a specific time.
Exactly. Let go of the attachment to the outcome while maintaining the aligned inner state.
Okay, so alignment is key. Trying too hard from lack is bad. Does the source give like a practical roadmap, a more structured way to actually do this beyond just trying to be the frequency?
It does, yeah. It lays out a pretty clear 4-step guide to consciously activate what it calls the real law of attraction.
All right, let's walk through those steps. What's step 1?
Step 1 is clarity. You need to know exactly what you want. Not vaguely, but with specifics that matter to you. And maybe even more importantly, understand why you want it. What's the feeling state you're actually after?
The underlying desire.
Yes. The source has a great quote here. Desire with direction is a force of nature. If your desire is fuzzy, the results will likely be fuzzy too.
So it's not just, I want more money, but maybe I want the feeling of security and freedom that an extra X 1,000 per month provides, because that allows me to. You get specific about the why and the feeling.
Precisely. You define the target state. Then step 2 is emotion. And this is huge, according to the source. This is where you generate the frequency. You have to feel the reality of your desire as if it is already done.
Feel it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Generate the emotions you would have if it were already your reality. The source says, emotion is the frequency that programs the quantum field. It's like the energetic fuel.
So really feeling the excitement of that achievement or the peace of that situation or the joy of that relationship, even before it's physically here.
Exactly. You cultivate that feeling inside you. Now, step 3 is that identity shift we talked about earlier. You actively ask, who would I be if this were already true? How would I think? How would I feel? How would I act? And then, this is key, you start being that version of you today.
You embody it. Make choices from that place.
You got it. You're literally stepping into that identity energetically. And finally, step 4 is inspired action.
Okay, action. But this isn't the trying too hard action, right?
Correct. This is an effort born from lack or desperation. This is about noticing and following the intuitive nudges, the little impulses, the opportunities that seem to just show up when you're in that aligned state, and acting on them without overthinking or second guessing.
So it feels more like flow, less like forcing.
Exactly. The source puts it nicely. Manifestation loves movement. It's about taking those steps that feel resonant, exciting, aligned, not draining or stressful.
Okay, let me recap those 4 steps from the source. 1, clarity, know exactly what and why. 2, emotion, feel it as already done. 3, identity shifts, become that version of you now. 4, inspired action, follow the aligned nudges.
That's the framework it presents. It's a process of aligning the inner world first, building that energy, trusting it, and then allowing action to emerge from that state.
All right, so for you listening, as we've gone through this perspective, the idea you attract what you are, the importance of alignment, becoming the frequency, avoiding that trying too hard traps, these 4 steps. What part of this resonates most with you? Or maybe what part feels the most different from how you've thought about the law of attraction before?
It really does pivot everything, doesn't it? Instead of focusing outwards, trying to manipulate circumstances or chase things, the primary work becomes internal, changing your beliefs, your feelings, your sense of self, and trusting that the external will follow. Attracting what you are means your inner state is the magnet.
And this source kind of brings it all home at the end, circling back to this idea of the real secret. What's the final takeaway message?
Yeah, the final message is pretty profound, and it sums it all up. It basically says the ultimate secret isn't some hidden technique or magic formula you need to find outside yourself. It's not in a specific book or course.
It's not something external you have to learn or acquire.
No. According to this source, the real secret is already inside you. It's in your ability, your willingness to cultivate and manage your own inner frequency. It's in finding the courage to really look at and unlearn the fears and limitations holding you back.
The resistance.
Exactly. It's about committing to embodying your truth and learning to live from the energy, the feeling state of already having what you desire.
So the power isn't in finding the perfect method, it's in mastering your own inner landscape.
That's the essence of it. And the source leaves us with this really powerful statement. When you align your inner world, the outer world follows. That's the real magic.
When you align your inner world, the outer world follows. Wow. That really flips the script on how most of us operate, spending so much energy trying to change the outer world first.
It puts the creative power squarely back within your own state of being, which is where this source insists it always was.
Okay. So, based on everything we've explored from this source today, here's a final thought for you to maybe ponder. If attracting what you desire is truly about being the energy of it already, how might shifting your focus, your daily focus, from the effort of getting something to the practice of becoming the person who already has it, fundamentally change not just how you pursue your goals, but maybe how you experience your entire life?
It's a powerful question, a potential shift from striving to aligning.
It really is. And that brings us to the close of this deep dive, where we explored this particular viewpoint on the law of attraction, guided by the source, the secret law of attraction, what they don't tell you.
Definitely some food for thought there, reframing a very popular concept.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for joining us for this exploration based on content from Hacking the Matrix. We hope it sparks some new insights for you on this fascinating topic.